Transformations. One of the greatest anime and shonen specials for decades now. Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, Pokemon, Digimon. Pretty much every anime I grew up watching had transformation of some kind of another in them. Awesome physical manifestations of overcoming the odds. Just as things seem lost, the main character reaches deep inside and finds something never before seen, a power that they didn't think they had to save the day. Of course, this isn't the only circumstance where transformations occur, but it certainly has some of my favorite moments tied to it. Goku vs. Frieza probably being the most obvious. There are also a couple of times I can remember when the transformation trope was turned on its head. I think the first time I can remember this was probably in the Pokemon anime. In the gym battle between Ash and Lieutenant Surge, the first time they battle, Ash and Pikachu get absolutely manhandled. Afterwards, they get a Thunderstone and have the opportunity to evolve Pikachu into a Raichu. Of course you take that opportunity, right? Raichu is the stronger Pokemon after all. However, after struggling with the decision, they decide against it. And through creativity and hard work, Ash and Pikachu are able to overcome the transformation they decided against. And I know there are other examples of this where the characters decide against transforming, or maybe it's not good or in one way or another. But when I think of deconstructing the transformation trope, the first thing I think of is Hunter x Hunter. Premiering in the Weekly Shonen Jump magazine in June of 1998, Hunter x Hunter has a fairly interesting history. Written and drawn by the author of Yu Yu Hakusho, it's definitely a shonen, but both anime are deeper than your standard action shows. They go into topics like politics and the nature of humanity, among other things, and because of that, they're a breath of fresh air from things like Dragon Ball Z. Although, don't get me wrong, I love me some Dragon Ball. However, Hunter x Hunter subverts your expectations. Characters lose fights and die. The villains aren't so one-note, and at least one transformation takes something normally triumphant and makes it anything but. Gon is, at least in some ways, a very traditional protagonist. He's a young, kind go-getter with a ton of talent and a want for adventure. He's also naive, having grown up in a small village and not traveling from it. This makes him not only a great viewer substitute, but also kind of a foil for some more dour characters, and he is the closest thing that Hunter x Hunter has to a main character. He's an eternal optimist, and rarely gets upset, at least for long. You spend most of the show following Gon and his friends. While these are the main characters, they're far from perfect. They're kids and they make mistakes. They aren't the smartest characters in the world, and they certainly aren't the strongest. Because of this, the characters feel very real and you grow attached to them. Enter the Chimera Ant arc. To boil down a very long arc, the Chimera Ants are a very quickly evolving sentient group of animals who are deemed a threat to humanity, and long story short, our heroes are tasked with stopping them. Sometime into the arc, we are introduced to a character named Kite, who Gon and company become fast friends with. Kite is a powerful and kind character, who can be a huge help against the Chimera Ants. Then, in a split second, Kite is gone, and it's Gon's fault, or at least that's the way he sees it. In an instant, Gon goes from a cheery kid who you can't help but root for to a much more sad and depressed character. This is not helped when he finds out his friend is probably dead and he knows who did it. This series of events has all but broken Gon. He's beyond sad, beyond mad, not only at those who killed his friend, but at himself. Then he finds himself in the same room as the perpetrator, the person who caused him all this pain and suffering, the one who took his friend away. The normally kind-hearted boy we've grown to love descends deeper into anger and sadness. The only thing he cares about, the thing he hates, is right in front of him. Then he's left in a room alone with them. The rage, the sadness, the hatred have built up so much, and for the first time, he wants to destroy something, someone. However, he just isn't strong enough, and he knows it. This eats at him and makes everything he feels even worse. So like Goku before him, Gon reaches down deep and finds something. But it isn't hope. It's despair. It's rage. And with it, Gon finds a power he's never known. The power to hurt the person who hurt his friend. and who hurt him. With this power, God does what many anime characters have done before him. He transforms. However, when it happens, it isn't met with joy. The music doesn't swell. This is not a moment to cheer. The breaking of a hopeful and caring person has completed. With this new power, Gon is easily able to get his revenge, but at what cost? The transformation nearly kills him, and does nothing to ease his pain. This series of events is one of the reasons Hunter x Hunter is one of my favorite shows of all time. Not many creators are willing to put their character through so much, only to have their moment of victory feel shameful and hollow. It will never cease to amaze me that the same person who wrote this also wrote Yu Yu Hakusho. Not thematically or anything, but talent-wise. Not many people can write more than one all-time great. It's unfortunate then that Yoshihiro Togashi, forgive me if I pronounced that wrong, the creator of these works, struggles with immense stress, which can cause him physical torment. Because of this, he goes on hiatus for years at a time, and it's a huge deal when he starts to write again, which he did recently. So maybe Hunter x Hunter will be finished around the same time as Game of Thrones. And I think that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know what your thoughts are on transformations and the subversion of them. Let me know your favorite transformation or your favorite show that they happen in. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I hope everyone has a great day, and I will see you next time.